The question one must ask yourself, and that is why the government must stop taking people for granted. If these activities were planned, we have the National Intelligence Service. Where were they? You know, if they did not know, then they slept on the job. They are not supposed to be in office. If they knew and did nothing about it, again, they are guilty of failing to stop anarchy and violence. But from where I sit, Michelle, the protests were very peaceful. The Gen Zs were not violent. They had water, they had smartphones. The violence was brought about by infiltration by goons who looted shops, escorted by police. You have seen videos all over, you know, thugs creating mayhem as police watch. You have seen videos, some thugs arriving in police vehicles, you know. So, and as we speak today, many protesters were arrested, others were killed. Not a single goon was shot. Wednesday. Today is Friday. All the people who looted shops, videos are there, the images are clear. None has been arrested.
All right. Let me just go back to what you said. There are allegations that these goons that you say infiltrated this protest, or goons you and your allies, have been mentioned adversely. You've seen the Interior Cabinet Secretary mention that they do have intelligence that this was an attempted coup. We've seen calls for your arrest following that statement. Mr.
I don't know how fragile this government is, that a CS Interior is walking in the streets of Nairobi in the morning and you are saying that was an attempted coup. If they had intelligence that goons had been paid by Rigathi, Gachagua or anybody else, why didn't they arrest these goons? If these were my goons, I want to tell you, Michelle, today they would have been shot dead. They would be in custody. Why, if they had intelligence that Rigathi, Gachagua or anybody else for that matter had paid goons to come and cause chaos in Nairobi, why didn't they act on that intelligence? Why did they supervise the goons wreaking havoc in the streets of Nairobi? How did they allow goons to go to a police station unarmed and take over a police station? And they had the intelligence. I think the CS Interior must respect the people of Kenya. People are not that stupid, you know. It is very evident that in Nairobi, the real goons came after 6 p.m. and downtown, River Road, Nyamakema, Taveta Road, Lithuri Avenue. The havoc, the looting was done in darkness under police supervision. Why were these guns not shot? Why were these thugs not shot? Why were they not arrested? And if anybody had funded them, the first evidence would have been to arrest those people, and then they can give information as to who had funded them. Right. Why would a government let goons create mayhem under their supervision, under their very eyes, for a whole day, for the whole night without taking any action? Why they did not do it?
You mentioned rightfully, Mr. Gachagua, that Kenyans are not stupid people. What Kenyans want is answers because lives were lost. But what we're seeing is a blame game. You blaming those who infiltrated the goons, who infiltrated the protests, the government blaming the opposition. Your name has come up. So if you say the protests were infiltrated by goons, who planted them? Do you have names? Do you have evidence? Have you recorded a statement?
I am not government. It's not my responsibility to stop goons from going to Nairobi. It is not my responsibility to arrest goons. That is the responsibility of government. These are people who are paid by taxpayers to make sure that they protect life and property. It is not the work of Rigathi Gachagua to go to the streets of Nairobi and protect life and property. I don't have such capacity. That is the work of the government. And they cannot shift blame and start saying, no, these goons were organized by so and so. Why did you allow them to terrorize Kenyans? Why did you allow them to loot property? What have you done since they did that? You know, even as you are looking for whoever could have sent them, why didn't you deal with them on the spot? Because you have seen videos, Michelle. Goons raiding supermarkets as police watch. You have seen videos, goons having conversation with police officers. You saw during the demonstrations against the death of Albert Ojwang, goons singing praises in the praise of Governor Nairobi outside City Hall. Today, it is now 2 weeks. None has been arrested. Those images are there. That is not the work of Rigathi Gachagua.
But you, Mr. Gachagua, are on record talking about state-sponsored goons. Where is the evidence?
The evidence is that if you see goons in a police vehicle, who owns that police vehicle? That is the state. If you see goons wreaking havoc and police are just watching, you don't need rocket science to know who has sponsored the goons. You know, if goons are wreaking havoc the whole day and none has been arrested, it's obvious who has brought those goons because the government cannot arrest their own goons. If these goons were brought by the opposition, as they are alleging, Michelle, all of them would be custody, they would be in court. But these goons have not been arrested and they cannot be arrested because they were brought by the state.
Let me ask, do you believe in justice for victims of the June 25th, 2024 protests first?
Do I?
Do you believe in justice? So where were you, Mr. Gachagua, on Wednesday, the 25th of June, during this week's protests?
I was just here in the house. I was here the whole day. Until I was watching on TV until they stopped the live stream.
Mm-hmm. And you showed up after, bodies were on the streets.
Yes.
Kenyans
and I didn't want to join the protests. First and foremost, during the 2024 protests, the Gen Z asked us, the leaders, the elders, to keep off the protests. And that is as it should be because they don't want to be owned by anybody because they are not at the direction of anybody. They are not financed by anybody. These are our young people who are bright, who are intelligent, who are innovative, who are doing their own things. I think if I had turned up in the streets on Wednesday, it would have given credence to those very ridiculous accusations that I'm the one who finances Gen Zs. I deliberately kept off because the Gen Zs had asked us to keep off. Again, I have nothing to do with it. I'm not their leader. I'm not their financier. I just support them morally. I am in support of their cause that we shouldn't have abductions. We shouldn't have extrajudicial killings. But I had no business, going to join them in the streets because that is their thing. And it is leaderless, it is tribalist, it is not political. It is something by our young people as part of their patriotic duty and civic duty to have the country, run in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There have been concerns of leaders, so to speak, riding on the Gen Z wave. In fact, you have accused opposition leader, ODM leader Raila Odinga of riding on the Gen Z wave. But 1 year ago, Mr. Gachagua, you told Kenyans that police must act with force to protect property.
Absolutely.
Right?
Property must be protected. And if police had protected property, not kill protesters, protect property, protect life and property. Don't take away life either of the protesters or for ordinary people, and protect their property. That was my position.
I mean,
and even when I was in government,
saying when you see a policeman with a gun, do you expect them to kiss you?
No. What I said is that the police must use their arms to protect life and property, not to take away life. That was my position.
Right, so
and you remember, Michelle,
Mr. Gachagua, that you also said that the IG did a good job during the protests last year. So the question is,
not the Gen Z
as I asked you whether you believe in justice for the victims of the protests,
yes.
What changed? Other than your job title, were you wrong then, or are you being opportunistic now?
I didn't say the IG did a good job during the Gen Z protests. It's the 2023 protests. And he did a good job in protecting life and property, to make sure that property is not looted in Nairobi. And that was a good job. And even the police in this one, had they protected property, life and property, I would still say kudos. That is my position. But you do remember, Michelle, the Gen Z protest of 2024 is what created a very serious wedge between me and President William Ruto. Because I took a very firm position that these young people should be heard and what they are saying has merit. And I disagreed with the president in a discussion between me and him, and I told him that I disapprove of use of force against young people, and I did urge him to listen to them and consider doing away with the finance bill of 2024, which he refused. And when a decision was made to deal with these young people, I disagreed. And when the president insisted, and these young people were massacred on June 25, 2024, the following day on June 26, if you remember, as deputy president, I called a press conference in Mombasa and disassociated myself from the actions of the president and the government. And I was a sitting deputy president. And I said, I don't agree. The president had said these young people are criminals. I say they are not criminals. These are our children. These are my sons and daughters. They have a legitimate concern and they should not be massacred. And that created a very big problem between me and the president, and he was very offended, and he started in earnest to embark on how to get me out of office, which he successfully did on October 18th. But that was what broke the camel's back, and I told him off, and I disassociated myself from the killing of Gen Z, and I was in office. So let nobody say that Rigathi Gachagua is siding with the Gen Z or saying they should not be killed because he's out of office. I am on record, and videos are there, that I took a position in support of our young people when I was in office. I did.
In 2023, during the Azimio demos, protesters were brutalized during the demos, and you said nothing. In fact, at the time, you supported the crackdown. Why should anyone take you seriously
I did not support the use of excessive force. What I said, and I would repeat it any other day, the police have a duty to protect life and property, and I asked IG, please protect. Members of public have every right to go to a police station, even where you are protected areas like State House. To shoot people and he'll protect them. That is a lie. And they should not believe him. And I want to tell the police officers, they have seen what has happened. The police officers who tortured and killed Albert Ojang today are in custody. They are before court on their own. They are facing murder charges. Yet the man who gave them instructions is at home doing his own things. Let me tell the police officers in our country, they are my brothers and sisters, they are my sons and daughters. Please follow the law. Don't take that stupid instruction from Kipchumba Murkomen seriously. Because you shoot somebody, you'll be arrested and taken to court. And I have told police officers to be very careful. I worked with William Ruto and people close to him. They are users. They'll use you, and when things get out of hand, they'll sacrifice you at high noon. I want to urge all police officers across the country not to agree to obey unlawful orders. not to agree to break the law. And I want to guide them for the last time. The work of a police officer, I was an officer in the security sector, is guided by 4 documents that are very, very important. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Penal Code Cap 63, the Criminal Procedure Code Cap 75, and Evidence Act Cap 80. Those 4 documents should guide any police officer in this country. And anytime they are told to do something by their superiors, they should refer to those 4 documents. Whatever they are being asked to do is contrary to what is contained in those 4 documents. They must politely tell their seniors they are not able to do it. And if their seniors insist, they should ask for something in writing. They should ignore what Kipchumba has said. Kipchumba, Murkomen, is those young boys around William Ruto with a bloated ego, with a lot of arrogance, with a lot of impunity. And I had problems initially when William Ruto wanted to appoint Kipchumba Murkomen as CS Interior when we just came in. And I told him this job requires somebody a little bit mature, somebody who can be able to regulate the security sector with a bit of knowledge and understanding and calmness.
Okay.
The way he is going, we are going to have a lot of problems in the security sector.
Let's hold it there, Mr. Gachagua. As we take a short break, we're speaking live to Rigathi Gachagua, former Deputy President and now DCP party leader. As we take accountability as to who or what went wrong during the Gen Z protests of June 25th this week. Take a short break. We'll be back with so much more, including questions of what next for Rigathi Gachagua. He keeps saying Ruto must go, but if he does, what's his plan? That's coming up after the break.